right, here we go, baby. Back again. Josh Mason, Maddie Flanagan. This is 2 Down, 1 Over podcast. Rocking the mics for you guys. We're so happy to be here. This episode, Matt, we're going to be talking about who you surround yourself with, man. Your circle. What does that look like and the importance of it to be successful? So what you got for us, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. And to answer your question, what do I have for you? And I think that it's important you surround yourself with good people.
100%.
And we can agree with that.
Yep.
And a quote I always think about is, you are the sum product of who you surround yourself with. We're old enough now to look back in our lives and understand as you get older, that circle gets smaller and smaller. It should, right? It should. And there's certain people that you trust information with and that you're going to be closer with as you get older. And we're lucky enough to be in that point. And we're at a point where we have people that hold us accountable, like each other. We hold each other accountable. We expect great things of each other. And it pushes us. It pushes us to be better and better and better. And I like that. You know, so it's not always comfortable, but at the end of the day, it's a good thing.
It is.
Because you don't let me make excuses.
Correct.
I don't let you make excuses. You know, when you feel like I'm getting off track, you call me out on that. And not only you, I have other people in my life that are like that. But I think as you're growing up, it's important to understand that it's okay to get that circle smaller.
Sure.
You know, but yeah, what would you say about that?
So I mean, that's a great point, and I think as you're younger, you want to be like popular.
Sure.
So you want to have everybody around
Guilty
you,
as charged.
Right? Yeah.
Guilty
Same.
as charged.
Like you want to have a bunch of friends and people around you, and you're right. As you get older, you get wiser, you get more mature, and you understand the importance of what type of people you want around you. And what I would say is, like, man, again, another separator. We always talk about, hey, what separates you, right? Like that good to great line. And the people you surround yourself by is definitely a separator. So I take it like this. If you have people around you that are, you know, bringing you up or maybe challenging you, like you said, calling you out when you're making mistakes or you're not on track, or you have people that are around you that are successful, constantly, you know, climbing the ladder, right? Things like that. Or let's just push it to like good habits or better habits in a lifestyle. You know, you have people around you that are reading books, people that are around you that are like self-development. They're on a grind. Like, that's gonna force you to either A, keep up with them, right? Or B, like, do the same things that they're doing. So that's why it's super important to have the right people around you. So when I say, hey, if you have a goal or you have a mission or you want to accomplish something, put yourself around people that you know are going to push you to a better level, right? Push you. And on the flip side of it, it's the same thing. If you have people that aren't doing these things, right? People that are just hanging out, aren't goal-driven, aren't positive, you know, bad habits, you're going to pick the same things up, and guess what? You're not going to get too far with that.
Agreed.
You know?
100%. And as you were talking, I was thinking about the other end of that. And I know I've been there too. I've
100%.
been guilty. And it is because you don't even realize it, but you're going to take on some of their qualities. And so some of the things too, and I was thinking about is like, I follow this one page on Instagram, and they're like, you know, you want to be a millionaire, surround yourself with 3 millionaires. You know, and not that money's that important. It's not, but that could be anything. And you talked about success and good habits and people getting up early and reading and doing all those positive things for their lives. Well, that's the people that I want to surround myself with.
Correct.
Right? You know?
Correct. So it's, I like to take it back to, like, let's say the athletes, right? So even when we were growing up, and I'm sure you're aware of this too, if you're around people that you're the best, right? Like, for me, at this point in my life, it's like, I don't want to be the best in my circle, so to speak, right? Like, I want people better than me, smarter than me, make more money than me. Like, I need that because it challenges. You get comfortable, correct? But as an athlete, you know, you don't want to be in a circle where you're the best because it's like, yeah, it feels good. I'm better than everybody in this circle. But guess what? There's no one pushing you. There's no one challenging you. And you know, we had that situation, or I had that situation, you know, back in high school and things like that. We didn't have that challenge or whatnot. And then when you get to the big leagues, you go to Division I football. You know, now there's some big dogs, right? There's some big dogs that everybody is A1. So in that moment, like, that's where you want to be because that's only going to make you better. And I remember getting to college and I was thinking, like, man, I should have pushed myself way more than I did when I was in high school. But I didn't know. And the thing is like, damn, if I had a circle that were just dogs and had circle that I knew, like, you know, they wanted the same thing as me, I would have been such a better player leading into the college life, right? So I take that even to our adults. Like, say there are adults that are struggling with accomplishing goals or whatnot. Find people, you know, people that work out.
Yeah.
You know people that eat healthy. You know, like,
Get in
hey,
with them.
rub shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, rub shoulders, because that's the only way that it's going to help you, because it's tough to just flip the light and say, hey, I'm going to do this. But if you get in the circles of what you're trying to get into, it's going to be so much more helpful for you.
Agreed, 100%. So even like taking the athletes, and one thing that we're super fortunate with here is the level of athleticism
Yes.
that we have.
Yep.
And listen, we're passionate about what we do. We do a
Yep.
good job of programming, but we're nothing without them.
Right.
You know, we can
Correct.
agree on that.
Yep.
And what helps us so much is we have such a high level. We have these dogs that are in here
Yes.
grinding all the
Yes.
time, and iron sharpens iron.
That's
they
it.
work out together.
Yep.
We have 2,000-yard
culture,
rushers,
man.
and the culture just
Yep.
keeps driving itself. So like we have to continue to do what we need to do and make sure everything stays in line and kind of guide. But these guys push each other, and you find these guys love working out with
Yes.
each other. They
Yes.
love getting challenged. We have these drills. We put them head to head. They get to compete. That healthy competition comes out.
Yeah.
They want to rip each other's heads up, and then 10 minutes later, they're best buddies again.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
which
You
is
need that.
amazing.
You
Which
need
is
that.
which is amazing. And for us too, we like to try to find that and say, hey, why don't we hook you up with so and so and see if this works out
Yes.
a little bit. Try to sharpen you up here and explain what we're doing and
Yes.
explain. And the nice thing is that it's continuing to establish.
Yes.
So like people have seen it for the last couple months and years, and now it's like, oh, okay, now
Yep.
we see what we're doing over here, right? You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. And I think probably the toughest thing is when you're trying to create this culture or these good people around you, is that you got to cut people out.
Right, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
that's
So like,
never easy.
I think that's probably the biggest roadblock for a lot of individuals is that you may have a circle now, and you know
Yeah.
that it's not benefiting you, and you know, and you might have a great relationship with them and years beyond whatever, but the tough thing is like you understand that they're not adding value to you.
Correct.
And you have to cut them out, and that's probably the biggest thing that individuals struggle with. But like, if you want to accomplish something, if you want to get pushed towards your goals, and you're looking for a successful group or whatnot, that has to be done.
100%.
And maybe not like cold turkey, like, hey, man, I don't talk to you anymore, I don't text you, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But like maybe some distance.
Sure.
Like you got to create the distance. And I know me personally, I went through situations like that as I grew older, where there was just people I knew, loved them, and they're great, but like I understood it, they didn't fit to what I
Right.
wanted to be. So I had to distance myself
Yeah.
from those individuals. And it's nothing personal. It's no hard feelings. I'm ambitious, and this is what I
Yeah.
want. So I want people in that circle that are go-getters and people that are ambitious. Like I need that around me because I have these goals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So talk about like cutting people out and
Yeah.
things like that.
So, and a big thing that I'm thinking of is boundaries.
Yes.
You know, and we have to set boundaries with certain people. And you can love someone and care about somebody from a distance.
100%.
You can. And I've been there myself. As you were talking, I'm thinking about situations in my life where, yeah, I care about this person, but they no longer are gonna. We're not gonna help each other.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Yep.
just and it's rough and it becomes toxic.
Yes.
And we have to cut out toxic relationships
Yep.
if we want to grow.
Yeah.
And that's a sacrifice we have to make.
Yep.
Okay, but what I find is we're like too nice, and we kind of
Yeah,
okay, sure,
right,
you know,
right.
and we let that linger, but we're not trusting our gut for so
Right.
long. Like our gut's telling us,
Yep.
hey, let's get away from this, but we won't do it, and we'll push
Yep.
it off, until it's like all right, now we got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and then after we do it, and then we understand why.
Yes.
You know, because we have, you know, we want higher for ourselves,
Yep.
and that's what we make those cuts.
Yeah.
And then we have to learn from that, set those boundaries
Yep.
where we can't let that happen again, and we have to identify toxic right away, negativity,
Yes.
stuff like that that's going to bring us down, bring our levels down, or our frequency, if you
Yes.
will,
Yeah.
bring that down.
No,
You know,
I
we
get it.
got to raise that. We got to raise each
You
other.
have to. And I'll say this, like if you are an individual that feels stuck or feels like, man, I can never like get it up, you should look around. you should look around and look at your circle, right? Like
Right.
because that's probably one of the components that is holding you back.
Yeah.
Is you not identifying and being aware of your circle, because like, man, I want to do this, I want to get this done, and like you're just not there. Look around. Look
Yeah.
around. Do you have the right people around you? Do you have enough positive influence? Do you have enough resources? Do you have enough feedback from individuals that are going to help you and not drop you? Right. So like that's a big thing. So as we talk about this, surrounding yourself with great people, it's difficult. It is to make the change. But man, I'm telling you, when you do have the right people around you, dude, it's like rocket fuel. Right? It's like rocket fuel, because now you got the right people around you, and now things that you're thinking of and you're chasing, they just seem to fall in place, right? They seem to fall in place, and you have to then at that point appreciate and respect the circle that you're around, because they're leveling you up.
Sure.
They're leveling you up. And that's why I think it's important to be, when you do feel like you find a circle, it's to be honest with everyone.
Honest,
because why do we need yes men or yes women around us, right? Like, oh, you're doing great, Matt. Matt, you're awesome, man. I love what you do. Oh, you're like, oh, Matt can never mess up, right? Or Josh, you're great, man.
I don't need a cheerleader.
Josh, you're successful. Yo, Josh, oh, this is great. This is great. No. I want you to say, yo, dude, like, yo, that's weak. Josh, you could do better than that, man.
100%.
Or yo, bro, you're not in your zone. I could tell. Like, you want that. I want that. I need that, because it brings the best out of me, right? And I'm sure that's what everyone else would want.
And then and you begin to like understand that person or that group wants the best for you.
Yes.
So you will raise your levels. And I
Yes.
think, talking about what you were just talking about, you have to be able to identify that negative energy too. And like you said, like, yeah, look around, do an audit.
Yep.
See what's going on here. And if you're gossiping, if like people that are gossiping and so and so over here and this and that, like, I don't know about that. Listen, people are gonna annoy us, but like getting stuck on that over and over, and that's something that I just identify from my past, where it's like, all right, like, let's move on from this. I think we can do better. I think we can do a lot better.
Yeah, I like it. And I think, let's go into the athletes again. I think maybe it's worth a sit down. Like, like whether you're on a team or you're playing in sports or whatnot, like maybe it's like, hey, let's get a couple kids together, girls, guys, that are on your team, and like maybe you want to form this circle. Maybe you want to say like, hey, this is what page I'm on. Like, are you down? Are you down? Are you down? Like, that might be a way to just say, hey, listen, I want to be the best I can be. Yeah. Do you want to be the best you can be? Like, yes. I'm like, hey, listen, let's hold each other accountable. Let's chase after this, and let's go after it. I think sometimes that might have to be necessary for you to do that. And if that doesn't happen, again, I think you just got to analyze. You got to audit. You have to check out, like, what are these people doing in their lifestyles, in their habits, and does it work for you? Does it fit for you? Is it going to make you better, right?
Yeah. And I think that's why I don't like participation awards.
Yes, correct.
I don't. If you're not good at something, you're not good at it.
Yep.
If you're good at something, well, then you're good at it.
Yep.
And we surround you when you keep funding and getting you around the right people. And as athletes, that's important. And I'm looking at my experience coaching, and you get the top dogs that want to continue working and get after it. And it's not for everybody. It's not for the masses, and some people are going to get cut. But if they get cut, maybe they find something else that they are good at and find their true circle and stuff. And that's why it's important. Like you said, honesty.
Yes.
Authenticity.
Yep.
Those things are very important qualities for me. I got to be honest with myself, the people are around, and true to myself, and be my authentic, true self.
Yes.
And when you can tell when my frequency's off a little bit, my circle can tell the frequency's off a little bit.
Right.
Call me out and expect great things of me, and I expect great things of you.
That's it. And like I said, we're talking about surrounding yourself with good people, and it, like I said, there's stages to it, there's steps to it, and I think it's super important. And if you're in a position where you do have good people around you, to be honest with you, I think it's uncomfortable. Yeah. Right? Like, there should be moments of uncomfortable. Right? You're not comfortable, because it's continuing to force you to grow, right? If you're in an environment that's continuing to force you to grow, you're uncomfortable at times,
You
right?
got walls up. You
Yeah,
got some
so,
walls
so
up.
so I think for those who are jumping in or trying to get this, like that uncomfortability, like yes, embrace that.
Yeah.
Because that it's forcing you to grow.
It's telling you something.
As long as it's positive, right? Yeah, it's forcing you to grow. So like when you're surrounded by people that are high performers and challenging, yeah, it's pushing you to the tape. Like, hey, what's going on here? So be comfortable being uncomfortable. We've covered that. So like you got to embrace that because that's when you know you're growing. That's when you know like, man, if I don't show up to this, I'm gonna let this person down. If I don't complete this, I told this person I was gonna do this by this week. Or I like that's good to have, man. That's great to have because we want to be our best versions.
Absolutely.
And how do you become your best versions? You need help, man. You
Yeah.
need help, right?
And one thing I'm thinking about is like I just had a conversation with this week, but high school to college,
Yes.
that transition, and really I feel like you become a totally different person in college than you are in high school. And if you're the same person when you go to college, if you're the same person that you were in high school, I think you really need to take a look at that.
Yes.
And your circle is going to get smaller by default, right?
Yep.
You go away to college, you're forced to meet new people, and you make new bonds, and
Yes.
you learn more about yourself and
Yes.
more about what you want in the people that surround you.
Yep.
And then you come back and you talk to your friends from high school and stuff,
Yep.
and it's not the same, right?
Right.
And you can and like sometimes I remember I would try to force that.
Yep.
And like I liked a lot of my high school class, I
Yeah.
really do, but I don't talk to them all.
Right.
I'm really like there's like 2 or 3 people I'm still pretty good friends
Yep.
with that, we've all grown together though.
Yes.
And that's such a scary thing for a high school kid going to college. We're like, I'm leaving my friends and
Yep.
stuff, and what if we grow apart? And if you grow apart, that's okay.
It is.
Really is okay.
Yep.
Because if you did grow apart, you probably have somebody in your life that's a little bit closer to you now because you learned more about yourself,
Yep.
or you grew yourself and you're growing up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so important. Just recently I spoke to an athlete in the gym, and she's a college athlete, came back, and I was just asking her questions how everything was going, and I'm asking about her friends. I used to know the crew that she used to hang with, and she's asking, she's like, oh, I really don't like talk
Yeah.
to them or hang out with them.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, really? Wow, because you guys were so close, blah blah blah. But she goes and says like, nah, but you know what? In that moment I realized, I was like, she's separating herself.
Yeah.
And she's doing great, and she's successful at what she's doing and in the sport. So I was like, here's a perfect
Yeah.
example
Yeah.
of where she knows like that group no longer is going to benefit her for her goals and what she's trying to do. And I was proud in that moment. I was like, man, that's good stuff. Keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing.
And that's not a diss.
No, it's not at all.
That's not a diss. And I've seen people grow apart and then have both gone to do great things.
Yes.
So don't take it the wrong way as it's like,
Right.
somebody's growing and leave them behind.
Right.
No, and if that person is no longer helping you grow, maybe they're just growing in a different direction, and they're but
That's okay.
And that's important to know too.
Yep.
You're not, and that's what we talked about before, is you can care and love someone from a distance.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's just distance. And so again, we say it by wrapping up. It's if you're ambitious and you have goals and you want to be successful, make sure you take a look around you. Are the people around you putting you in a better place? Are they giving you the push that you need? Is the support there, the resource there to challenge you? Because if you're not being challenged and you're not being essentially called out or called to the tape, you might have to replace some individuals.
Yeah.
Because if you want something, you have to go get people that are smarter, that are better around you to lift your game and lift your level. Any last words?
I think my last words would be this, and it's a good time because it's like right at the end of the year. This will
Yep.
be released in the first week of January. A lifestyle audit.
Yeah.
And really like audit your life, or maybe not lifestyle, but an audit, and what energies are around you, and really like sit down and take a look at that, because I don't think we always do that.
No.
As we get in the flow of life and we get in this structure and we just kind of go and we're just, okay, got to do this, and
Yep.
but we don't take a look at what we're surrounding ourselves. And I think if we take a minute and identify those negative and toxic relationships
Yep.
and things that we kind of need to distance ourselves, bring that, shed some light on it, and then we're more likely to do it. And
Yeah.
I think that would be my closing words, and I know I've had to do that myself.
Yep.
And it's been a big help.
It is.
You know?
And I think to piggyback that is keep an open mind, because there may be people that you may link up with will make you better, but you never thought of like, oh no, I don't hang out with that person, or I don't talk to that person because there was other stigmas or whatever. Keep an open mind, right? Keep an open mind as you move forward. But man, what a podcast! I thought that was great.
Yeah.
You know, I think the listeners will gain some gems, some nuggets from that. As always, we're always trying to inspire and motivate. Guys, please subscribe to us. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We need you to subscribe that button. Tell your friends and family. As always, I'm Josh Mason. This is Matt Flanagan. This is 2 Down, 1 Over podcast. We will catch you guys on the next episode. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.